Okay, gentlemen. So I asked these wonderful allies to begin with what we would call crucible moments. You know, what is a kind of a synthesis of your life journey of coming to awakening, and how did it happen to you? And so you've each had a chance to think about that. So Andrew, I'm going to have you start, and then we'll just...
I didn't even know what a crucible moment was until I was on the phone with these people. It's great to be here. I decided that I was going to be a better man than my dad. And I love my dad. And he loves me. But, and I'll tell you a little bit about the details of this. Traditional family, my dad went to work, my mom stayed home. They both went to college. We lived out in the country in West Marin. He was a lawyer. He never came to one of my games. He was not home for dinner. He was not a hugger, so I have a hard time hugging. There was not a lot of touching between him, but I believed he loved me. He was my dad. We're very close now. We actually live on the same driveway. You know, he left my mom for another woman. And then abandoned me and my brother, too, because then he didn't have any time. And we saw him every other weekend, except when he was too busy. And then when we saw him, he always had his girlfriend with him. And we were like the second thing he was going to do that weekend. And mostly we trolled around with him to work engagements as well. We went to the movies, we did other things, but it was pretty superficial. And it was, and I didn't realize later that it was all happening to me or what it was about. And my mom figured it out. She was a strong woman. She had to cope, you know, raising 2 kids, single family. She had to go back to work. We didn't have a lot of money. And, but she figured it out. She was my best friend. She talked to me about everything. I could tell her anything that was going on in my life. I couldn't talk to my father about anything other than, you know, whatever I thought would make him proud. And so then my mom died. She was 37. I was 16. My dad moved back home. And now he's the single parent for me. I couldn't talk to him at all. And then I got lost in my little life for about 5 years. I got found later on by myself. And I got into a men's group when I was 21. And in that group is when I decided I was going to be a better man than my dad. And that meant for me a better husband, partner, and a better dad. I wasn't talking about the work thing and some of the reasons why I'm here today. It wasn't a decision I made. I was going to be loyal, and I was going to be present. And those were decisions I made. So then my journey forward after that, I made my first great decision. I married an unbelievable woman, strong, competent, gorgeous. I'm still massively in love after 25 years. We have 3 kids. True partnership between the two of us. She was working at the time, decided she would stay home, and I would go to work, and she would work at home. And this leads me into my business side, because I had a stay-at-home wife, and I could go to work, and that was a big support. I made my dad decision, though, so I coached every team, never missed an event at school, taught in the classroom, did all those things with my kids that I said I would do, which meant I got up very early in the morning to go to work in order to make that happen, and worked a lot. I'm a lawyer. In a law firm, we sell hours. And success in my business has a lot to do with how many hours you put in. And I could put in a lot of hours because I had a wife at home, and I did that very well. I was smart and capable and all the rest of that. I also had a network, which I needed because I needed clients. So I could work as many hours as I needed to, subject to my own wanting to be home, and I had a wife backing me up. And I came to this law firm, Hanson Bridgett, in 1991. At that time, it had hired its first woman ever in 1978. Never had a woman who worked for it as a lawyer prior to that. That's only 13 years before I got there. That was true for the whole profession across the United States. Male-dominated profession for sure. I took over as managing partner of that firm in 2001. And I'll just fast forward to today, and I think part of the reason that I'm up on this stage. So today, we're ranked as the #4 law firm in the country for women to work at. That's because of what the women say. It has nothing to do with me. Also, it's because of what the women do. It's not because of me. Only letting them do it. That part I can do. But it's not me who made it that way. It's the strong women who are in my company, whether they're lawyers or not, by the way. And #4, and I just want to give one fact, because this is the fact that I'm the proudest of, and I can't tell you why it's so, but it is so. We have 32% of our partners that own the company are women. The national average is about 16%. So we're double the national average in owners that are women. But a lot of people keep track of that number, but the number of people don't keep track of is this number, and it is that my women owner partners make more money than the men on average. They make more money than the men at the median as well. That just doesn't happen in our society. It's actually the big issue. People are counting gender, they're counting color, but at the money level is where the power is, at least in my industry. And they've got power. They've been able to develop practices in the culture of our firm. And so I don't know, most of the reason for that, I think, is just getting out of the way, empowering, supporting. And a while ago, I learned how to be a sponsor, not just a mentor. And that's made a big difference for me as the way that I can give back personally. And I was supposed to give a few messages, I guess, as part of this.
Well,
Do that later?
let me hear from these guys, and then we'll come back to that.
I'll give messages later.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you
so much. How long have you been managing partner?
15 years.
Okay, so I'm kind of thinking it wasn't that he didn't have anything to do with that it turned out the way it's turned out, but we'll get into that. Okay, Bill.